Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more Eternal Darkness. I was going to include this first part where we're playing as Alex at the end of last video. I've done that a few times. But I saw the video length and thought, well, 30 minutes, that's a long video. That's too long. I'll save this part for the next video. Well, if you look at the video length, you see what I get for my efforts. Now it's time to search for the next page of the Tome of Eternal Darkness. But not before running into something creepy. Huzzah! There's not much else to see and do in here right now. We just need to do a puzzle so that we can get that next page. In order to do that, we need to use the reveal spell that we picked up last video. That reveals a keyhole. I could make a joke about Alex and her keyholes and me having a key and all of that loveliness, but I won't. I will be nice. It took me a while to get her to actually use the key. I guess I wasn't on the right pixel or something.
Your guardians have located the heart of Mantarok.
Yes, located within its grave, as we suspected.
It shall be retrieved at once.
Be wary. The power of Mantarok lingers still, corroding the universe around its tomb. It will doubtlessly be guarded after these 7 centuries.
The beast has not been contained.
I can assure you that my binding of Mantarok, fueled by your very own power, will be enough.
It is not your sorcery that we doubt, Augustus, but the power of the dead god. How can you, a mere mortal, comprehend what that entity represents, or what power it can wield?
We know not.
And we know more than thou.
Your future depends on me, Majesty. Without me to open the gates...
Yes, yes. Be quick, lest our power and our faith in you wanes to oblivion.
It will never happen. I have seen differently.
And now you know the drill. We need to view the page that we just picked up.
The ancients' influence was incredible. From all walks of life to all parts of the world, their tendrils crept and wrought their insidious damage. Their prisons decayed constantly as their guardians' work continued. I discovered mention of a breakthrough in satellite radar imaging that revealed the presence of a hitherto unknown temple mound in the Angkor Thom region of Cambodia. An archaeologist of some repute, Dr. Edwin Lindsay, took it upon himself to investigate the area, to reveal the secrets of history. Unfortunately, the local government at the time thought differently, requiring that Lindsay find other means into the country and to finance the expedition. He found these in Paul Augustine, a collector of rare items who professed an interest in the discovery and agreed to help. After a dysentery-riddled 2-week venture, Lindsay and Augustine located the remains of an ancient city temple dating back to the 12th century.
Yes, this is it. It has to be. I hadn't expected the information to pan out, but here it is. The satellite data was correct.
For years, I have searched for it without success. Here, all along, clouded from us beneath the great ancient's insidious magic. I am very pleased with your performance, Dr. Lindsay. Very pleased. In fact, so pleased that I will give you an early bonus.
god!
You are a scholar, Dr. Lindsay, not a warrior. In that regard, I have several centuries more experience than you. Don't be a fool. Die quietly, and you will not suffer. You cannot escape me, Lindsay. This place will be your tomb, just as it is Mantarok's. Guardians of Zelatoth, kill him!
Oh look, we immediately have baddies to deal with. And this guy is equipped with a couple of guns, but we're going to use swords for now. I think I end up running out of pistol bullets, but he does have a shotgun as well, which we will be making use of. So Zelatoth is the green god. You probably figured that out from reading the files. I have trouble remembering all these characters' names. There are so many gods and so many characters in this game that I think I've said before, I'm never going to remember them all. I assumed that one baddie was the only one that was there. I didn't realize this other dude was here. Something else I didn't realize, and now we need to find something on the floor. There it is. I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting in menu whenever I go to do this in the future. We're going to do this a lot. Whenever you see a dust cloud or spider webs or whatever that is, you use this archaeologist brush and you can reveal something underneath. So kind of like you saw there, I'm going to be cutting my trip through the menus because I usually have trouble finding that thing in the menu. I am blind after all. So once you pick that up, you just put it there and we're good. So each god has a name, and each rune that we pick up has a name. I'm going to show later a little bit more of the spell menus. Whenever he casts a spell and you hear all that chanting, that's actually the names of the gods and the runes that are used for each spell. Each spell requiring one god and 2 runes. And later on, I believe it'll be 1 god and 4 runes? I can't remember exactly. They are going to get more complex as we go. Oh boy, already an enemy. As soon as you get through there, you get teleported right back out into the hallway and you just go immediately through that door again. So definitely take out that trapper beforehand, otherwise it's going to set off all the traps, which I'm going to do anyways. But I'm going to at least want a chance at not setting them off. And you'll see throughout this video, we have a ton of these hallways to go through. There's something else we can pick up. And sometimes I do okay at this, but usually once things go wrong, like that, they go really wrong. I say fuck trying to dodge the traps and I just run for my life. Which may not be the smart thing to do, but it's what I went with. So this room is kind of pivotal to this chapter. And since we went with Zelatoth, the green god, this thing is cloaked in green magic. Oh joy, going through this thing again. Huzzah! Sadly, that's one of my better attempts at going through that area. There will be a bunch of trap rooms, like I was saying before. We've been in this temple before, I think in video 2. I just want to put an item here. That's it. I don't need your observations. And with this video being as long as it is, sometimes I'm going to fast forward my trek through some of those, because some of those are actually done in a way where I can actually see the panels that you need to avoid stepping on. Most of them I can't. But a few of them have kind of a dark background with light panels. So it's a lot more easy, but I am moving really slowly when I go through there. So when we get to those sections, at least 2 or 3 of those treks are going to be fast forwarded. Probably more. This temple is filled with a bunch of similar looking rooms. There are probably about 3 or 4 variations of rooms that we'll see for the most part. So I probably should have fast forwarded more than I did. This chapter took me about a week to play. Mainly just because I couldn't be bothered doing it all in one sitting. It's a pretty long chapter, and if you don't know what you're doing, then it does take a while. And something I haven't said to this point, I am trying to play most of this twice if I can, so that I know what I'm doing when it comes time to record. Get out of my way! Damn you zombies, or whatever you are. I've got runes to pick up. I gotta read the runes! Damn it, I said read the runes. Or at least pick one up. I don't know this guy's name and I'm never gonna remember it. Because they said it in that opening cutscene and I don't believe they will say it again. I figured for a little bit of sanity so that I don't have to use the Xel'lotath spell. I'm actually surprised I remember that name, even though they just said that in this video. They also said this guy's name and I don't remember his name, so go figure. See, this was bad. A lot of enemies that get on top of you really quickly. This area makes me think a little bit of a new game that just came out called Tormented Souls, which, despite Jimmy's misgivings, I still want to try at some point. Not for the $30 price tag it's going for, but still. It's supposed to be a Resident Evil, Silent Hill style game. I don't think any of those devs really know what it means to do a Silent Hill game. Hell, I don't even know if Team Silent could pull that off anymore. But I watched a playthrough of that game a couple of weeks ago, and the thing I noticed about that game is all of its environments look the same. I think I would get very lost playing that game. There's a little spell tree. We've seen that several times. I was talking about that earlier. At the top you have the god that you decide to put that spell through, and then at the bottom you have the different runes. I believe that's our Dispel Magic spell. I cut a lot of my trek through the menu here. There's a lot of spells I'm going to use. I'm going to use a barrier spell. I'm going with red because this guy's cloaked in green magic. And then I enchant my shotgun, and then I go with the Dispel Magic spell so that we can actually fight it. For the most part, I'm probably going to stick to the red magic. I think there are enemies that are of different colors, but for the most part, we should be seeing green enemies. Which makes sense considering the dude that spawned all these things is worshipping Xel'lotath, so of course he would be creating her minions. I hope I'm able to download all the cutscenes that I need to show off all the different stuff in this game at the end. The reason this video is so long is I want all of each chapter in one video, but I might have to change that for the final chapter since I'm going to have a lot of extra stuff to show before we get to the finale. Because I'm not playing this game 3 times. That's just not happening. I started this game sometime in September. It's early October now. I'd say I probably have been playing this game for about 4 weeks now. Off and on. I'm still pretty bitter about what happened with Fear Effect 2. And I haven't quite taken that break that I wanted to take. I took a little bit of one, but not too much. Basically right now the way I'm doing things is I'm just This is another one of those enemies from the start of the level. They're kind of annoying, and I think you can only hit them when their wings open up. Or if you get to their back. I'm not really sure which. They're pretty annoying to deal with. So I'm not really taking the break I wanted to take from recording. What I'm doing instead is just taking my sweet time when it comes to recording, so that I don't get burnt out. So far it's working okay for me, it's just frustrating because I don't have anything to post. If you're seeing this, then this game is completed. I'm basically just posting LPs once I've finished the game. Oh god. This is bad. Thankfully we have a heal spell. And magic gets refilled by just walking around. Otherwise we would be in some trouble. But you might be able to see, looking at this chapter already, that it's kind of a bit tedious. We're going through a lot of similar looking rooms, doing a lot of the same things. We're going to come through a few rooms that look like this, but we're going to have to dispel some magic in each of them. We've got 3 of those, 1 for each god. Probably not surprised. Who the hell would make something like this? This game is kind of Tomb Raider mixed with Resident Evil. For the time. Obviously Resident Evil has gone in a different direction. Damn you, Blades! I hate you! I did take the time to heal before coming through here. So this is the first area that we are going to have to dispel some magic. I believe this is a blue thing, so I enchanted the shotgun with green? Hopefully that's right. I don't really remember. And I believe this is a red room, so we're going to have to use blue magic in order to dispel this one. But before we do that, I just wanted to go ahead and pick this up. I should have just gone ahead and dispelled the magic because it creates a barrier that will stun your character. I don't know if he actually takes damage to it or not. As you can see right there. I don't know if that hurt him. Fine, game. I will do what you want to do. So there's something slightly cool in this room. There are levers, one in this room and one in each of these types of rooms. We will see several that you can pull that will give you a temporary reprieve from the traps. I'm not as quick at running after pressing this one, mainly because I can't see when it goes down. I know it plays a sound. Run! I'm trying to get as far as I can through here before they start activating, and as you can see they activated. They don't give you much time at all. And yes, that is poison fart gas that will damage you. That's a new addition to those trap rooms. I don't think I will be lucky enough to avoid it, but I really hope we don't come back here or to any place similar to this. I'm not a fan of the traps. At least they're not insta-kill though. If this was Tomb Raider, they would be insta-kill, I'm sure. Maybe not the newest Tomb Raider trilogy. Oh, here I realized I was out of ammo and he wouldn't reload on his own. There is a reload button, but it was not exactly working. But that's okay, our trusty blade will take care of everything. And of course the barrier gets in the way when all I wanted to do was finish off this enemy. So you use the red to dispel the green. So you can imagine there will be one more of these rooms, and we will use green to dispel the blue. Same deal. Another one of these levers. Run, Travis, run! I'm calling him Travis for some reason. I don't know why. Oh god. Get away from me, enemies! Run! Still run! That actually went fairly well. All things considered. I mean, it could have gone worse. I probably should be using the torch here, but the torch doesn't kill some of these enemies. I don't remember if these guys didn't die to the torch or not. I wanted to do away with the enemies first, and then deal with the barrier, but it was being annoying. Excellent. Now that that's out of the way, I think the enemies disappeared. I don't know if I killed them before taking down the barrier or if they just went away. I assume I killed them. But I remember being surprised that they were all gone already. I guess I'm just that badass that I surprised myself! No, we don't want to activate this yet. We want to place a necklace in there. I believe it's called the Dusty Necklace. Even though we have a scrubbing brush that could scrub it clean. Our boy Travis, he doesn't have time for any of that woman's work. He wants somebody else to do it for him. Typical American. Actually, I don't know if he's American, but actually typical people these days. And I'm one of them, so I'm not going to say that I'm better than anybody else. I don't want to do any work either. Me and housework do not go together at all. Well, shit. At this point, I should have started fast-forwarding these, but I didn't. I was still under the delusions at this point that the video would be a decent length. Oh, never mind. Actually, I needed to stop over here to put these items on this statue. That's right. So any of these where I have to actually do something in the middle of the hallway, I'm not going to fast forward. There will be a few times where that will happen. And I am starting to get hungry. So at this point, you should easily be able to see what I mean about how repetitive this level is. I think they should have kept the chapters in this game to about 20 minutes per chapter. And I suppose you can go through this chapter quicker than I'm going through it. Thank you for that. I was busy fighting your buddy. Who knows, maybe he wants to be friends and he's trying to shoot this other enemy to help us out. Maybe that's what's happening. He's dead, I got him already, we're good! No? Okay, fine. And that trip through the menu was me panicking. And I couldn't even enchant my shotgun, which is quite annoying. Almost as annoying as my antivirus, which opened a pop-up. I really need to remove that thing. I just haven't gotten around to it. when I was playing Hellblade, I finally got through this really tough section, the toughest section in the game. And there was some stutter on the video because the fucking antivirus came up. I'm not happy with that thing at all. Speaking of not happy, here's a room that gave me some issues. And a corner I'm going to get stuck on multiple times. I had to try this several times, and each time I would get stuck on this corner. If it hasn't happened already, it's going to. I still wonder who would build a place like this. You would think if they were worshippers of any of these elder gods, that they would want somebody to resurrect them. I was trying to finish off enemies, not check whatever that was. Buddy, if you want a healthy diet of blades, I'm happy to give it to you. You jerk. As you can see, there's something else we are going to have to use that brush on. I think there's still another enemy in here. Yep, there he is. Come on, guy, I gotta give you a splitting headache. Okay, that line would have been better had I been taking off his head when I said it, but whatever. Huzzah, more runes. And more me healing, I assume. I am cutting a lot of me using magic just to save video time. This is one of those segments I was talking about before. Obviously, you can see I fast-forwarded it. The floor is a lot more clear where you can and can't step than some of the others were for me. And then as soon as I get caught on one trap, I just give up and run for my life. Maybe it's this room that I got stuck on this corner. I think it's this room. Hordes of enemies. Not as bad as some of the segments in this game, but still not a lot of fun. And eventually I'm going to remember that I have guns and use one. And that's where I'm going to use up my pistol bullets. And heals. Just die. Taking my time with recording is definitely benefiting me. And I assume this LP is going to be 12 or 13 videos, maybe 13 with all the extra stuff that I want to add to the end of this LP. Which, the way I'm going to schedule these videos, will be about 6 weeks worth of videos, which for me is nice because that will give me some time to record another LP. So hopefully there won't be this long of a break between videos again. I already have an idea of the next game I want to do. Or at least the next franchise. Which would be a continuation. I've done 3 games in this series already. I just need to look in the timeline to see when the other games take place. Yeah, we are bingo handgun bullets now. Fortunately, we shouldn't need any more. That necromancer guy was talking about how our boy Travis here isn't a soldier or anything, but he did carry a shotgun and a pistol. No whip, though, so he's definitely not in indie territory. But I'll give him credit nonetheless. Looks like we are creating a spell here. I believe this will be a protection spell. It's kind of like a force field. It creates these different orbs that will protect you. And that's the first time I get to show that off, that we can create spells. So even if you don't have the description for it yet, as you can see down there, there's no description for it, you can still create the spell if you have all the runes you need. That is going to save us a lot of time later on in this chapter. Because there's a spell that we need that if we were to wait until we found the codec for it after having all of the runes, that would require a lot more backtracking than we are going to do. And we've already done a lot of backtracking anyway. I don't know if this thing protects you against these traps. I think it might, some of them. I don't think it will against the poison fart gas or the smashers. Either that or I just got really lucky going through there to only get hit by a couple of traps. So we have this thing that acts as our own personal kind of defense shield. There is that barrier that I talked about that I used before. On one of my attempts at going through this, I accidentally trapped some zombies in that barrier. So it didn't really help me out a whole lot. I was hoping to get a barrier around me that I could fight them through, and they can't penetrate. Yeah, I wasn't trying to observe that. I was trying to finish this thing off. I really wish the finish button and the observation button were different buttons. Let's be honest, the finisher moves are just cool to do. How many of you are there? Huzzah, we have another rune. I believe this is the last one we're going to need for this chapter. Yep, I believe we are going to create another spell. And I don't believe the menu will say what it is until you get the codec for it. I could be wrong on that. So you can see what I was talking about before, the god on top and the two runes down below. Whenever you hear that chanting, that is the list of the god and all of the runes used in each spell. Or the spell that's being used at the time, anyways. So that spell that we just created will allow us to create our own trapper. We've seen trappers already. I shot one earlier this video. There's a hole that we can't fit through. As opposed to one of Alex's holes that... Well, we're not going to make that joke. We're not going there. Never mind. Never mind. Now that we have a trapper spell, we can create our own trapper and control it. And use that to get through areas like that. And yes, I may be spoiling things a little bit, but I'm not sure how much time I'll have to talk about that by the time we get there. This game definitely had a lot of big ideas. Oh god. Don't hit me, I'm beautiful! I'm not sure how well executed they are. I guess by the end of the game I'll have better thoughts on this game than I do now. We're probably almost halfway through the game. I believe there are 12 chapters. This is chapter 6. However, this is a much longer chapter than the previous chapters. And I assume the chapters we get after this are going to be pretty long too. So I would guess maybe by the end of next video, maybe we will be halfway done. This should be the hallway where we use the trapper. Oh god. I'm just trying to find a hole to stick something in. Damn it, game! So I've already spoiled what this spell does. Isn't he cute? Or she, or it. I don't judge. Okay, I do a little, but not too much. I judge, but I accept. How about that? I may judge you for who you are, but I still accept you. I cannot see the damn thing at all in this background. As you can tell, the goal is to get onto that bridge and get over here. Right, so the gods. We've talked about the green, red, and blue gods. We saw that little purple symbol and heard the name Mantarok, I want to say it is. And now I'm just fiddling with the buttons to dispel this trapper. You served us well, but we're going to have to let you go. And we're not even letting you stay on to the end of the week. And no, you cannot use us as a reference. So now we've got a purple room. And have your enchanted shotgun ready before picking that up. Die! And our boy's going insane. I can already hear the insane chanting in the background. But we don't have time to worry about going insane. We gotta finish off that enemy. This purple spell is related to that god Mantarok, which I believe is the strongest of the 4 gods. You can't actually pick a path to service that one. And I assume we will find more reasons for why that is as we go throughout the game. That priest guy has talked about Mantarok before when talking about, I think that's why he's spawned Xel'lotath to try to take down Mantarok. That's my guess anyways. Anyways, our boy's going insane. It's time to cure that insanity.
This isn't really happening.
Okay, that made absolutely no sense. So, I've gone over what the recover spell does with each of the 3 gods. If you use the recover spell for Mantarok, it recovers all 3, health, sanity, and magic, which is cool. I will probably make use of that, but I don't know if that costs a lot more magic. It might. Alright, definitely make use of this. Run, dude, and try not to run the wrong way like that again. Oh god. I'm just trying to get as far through here as I can before the traps come out, and fortunately we made it. Huzzah. And there's this whole thing with alternate realities involving each of the 3 gods and the playthroughs, and why you have to play through this game 3 times on the same save file in order to get the true ending. I don't know a whole lot about all of that yet because I haven't got that far. but I have been researching this game quite a bit, avoiding spoilers for the most part. And it's at this point this chapter has worn out its welcome for me. I feel like we've done everything we need to do. I really wish the game would have just given a quick end to this chapter at this point. We got all the spells we need. We got all the runes we need. There's not really much more to do except get to the final area. There's not even a boss fight in this chapter, which I am thankful for. I think that was one of my worst trips through these things. And I believe this temple is fully open now. And I'm pretty sure this takes place in the 80s. We've been going through different time periods. I thought it would take us a lot longer to get to something a little bit more modern. That is the codec for the Trapper spell. So you can see we would have had to come all the way there, pick that up, and then go all the way back to that hole. And I was not willing to do that. Alright, our boy doesn't have to go insane now. Huzzah.
The power of Mantarok is not easily controlled.
What makes you think I want to control it?
Arrogant man. Kill him! Make sure you succeed this time. The darkness shall prevail.
I like that continuity. It looks like that purple magic saved us, so I think that's the whole point of this chapter, is to pick that up. Though we did get a couple of nice spells out of it.
Do not touch the heart, flesh and bone, lest you become like me, a dead, rotted husk. I have waited many centuries for you. It was not easy hiding from the Dark Ones as they searched for me. At first they passed by, not thinking that the heart was inside my dead body. But I was forced to find refuge here. You must seal the heart so it never contacts your flesh, and take it to the gathering of light. Take the heart there, or the world shall fall under a reign of eternal darkness. The veil of reality can only be pulled back so far, mortal. Take your stand and fight the darkness.
And unless I missed something, I think that's actually a character that didn't die horribly this time. I'm sure he does at some point, but at least in that chapter he doesn't. Which is quite cool. However, we are at the end of the video, so thanks for watching. And I will see y'all next time with more Eternal Darkness.